I am so happy that you're here. Glad to spend a little time with you. What we're going to talk about today is I'm going to teach you some tricks to boost your brain power and your memory. Because this is something that most of us would like. We'd all like to have a better memory, have our brain work a little more efficiently. And many times people say as they get older, well, I had a senior moment, or my brain wasn't working. That doesn't necessarily have to happen. There are a lot of people that are well into their later years that their brain works fine. And a lot of it has to do with how you take care of yourself now. See, that's the key, is if you do bad things, you will absolutely positively have to pay for them. I mean, if you speed, eventually you're going to get caught. If you, I don't know, go out and rob things, eventually you're going to get caught if you keep doing it. Well, if you keep doing certain things to your health, you're going to get caught. And that's when patients come into our offices and they say, well, Dr. Joe, I don't know what to do. Help me. And I say, well, what have you done all your life? And we sit down and we talk, and 100% of the time they've done things that have led them to this position in life. And they're not happy with that choice. And they always say, why didn't I do something about this sooner? I hear that's the biggest complaint I get in my office. Why didn't I do this sooner? And I don't know that answer because so many of you have the knowledge, you're just not doing it. Because I hear that too. Well, Dr. Joe, I've been listening to you for 10 years. I've read your books. I've been following you for 20 years, 30 years. And I know what I should be doing. Now, finally, I'm motivated. And I often wonder, like, what is the thing that motivates somebody after 20 years of being a follower or a fan, finally saying, now I'm going to do something about it? Usually, it's an event. They have a pain, or they have a heart attack, or they have digestive problems, or they develop a disease. But I want you to fix things before they get that bad, not after. So let's talk about some things that you can do to boost your brain power and boost your memory. There's no time like now to start doing that. So one of the things that works really well to help your brain is sleep. Now, it's not just because you're tired. You say, well, I'm tired, my brain can't work right. That's one thing. But you can actually sleep your way to a healthier brain. And there's a strategy that even couch potatoes can start to incorporate. According to the research, University of Notre Dame at Boston College, getting at least 8 hours of sleep helps your brain to think more clearly. That makes sense because you're not tired. But listen, scientists have found that people get more sleep are better able to organize memories and reconfigure them in a way that produces new insights and creative ideas. So from this study, researchers determined that sleep helps consolidate memories, fix them in your brain so that you can retrieve them later on. So what's happening is your brain is able to take things and sort them and then put them in files once you get some good sleep. So it's not just about being tired, it's about your brain's ability to put them in different files so you can access them later on. And sometimes people say, well, if I can't sleep, I'll have some alcohol. Well, alcohol will help you fall asleep, but not get into that deep REM sleep, the REM sleep. And that's the sleep that we need when the brain actually does its healing. So does the rest of the body. Because as a chiropractor, our job, my team of doctors and I, our job is to get you well and keep you well. And we want to teach you all the tricks that we can to help you obtain and maintain good health. And many times pain is a reason why people can't sleep. How many of you have that problem? I've had it. Of course, you have a headache, you have back pain, neck pain, you're rolling around in bed, my back hurts, my shoulder hurts. Well, we can do several things. We can take medication to cover up the pain, which I'm not against. If you need it, I say take it. But ultimately, you want to get to the cause of the pain, not just treat the symptoms. And that's what we're going for, getting to the cause of the pain. And as chiropractors, we look to see, is it a pinched nerve? Is it a muscle spasm? Is it bad diet? Now, bad diet usually doesn't cause the pain, but bad diet can influence the pain, make it worse, because certain foods are inflammatory and certain foods are anti-inflammatory. And if you're eating inflammatory foods all the time, things like alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, pretty much everything you eat all day, right? That can cause inflammation, and then if you have an area that's already weakened or sensitized, it's going to make it a lot worse. And also, when you hurt yourself, let's assume you get in a car accident. Again, I've never seen a car accident ever where the car was damaged where the occupants weren't. Ever. 32 years of practice, countless thousands and thousands of patients. I've never seen a car accident where the car was damaged and the occupants weren't, because you're not as tough as the car. And when you get snapped around, your head is the most freely movable object in the car. You may have a seatbelt on, you have a shoulder strap on, a shoulder harness. You're locked in. but your head isn't. And your head snaps around. And that's when the damage occurs. And so if the car was damaged, hard enough to damage a car, you have to have injuries. And you need to get that fixed. So whatever the cause of your pain, lifting, bending, squatting, housework, yard work, you hurt your back, then we need to get in there and work on getting the back fixed. But you also need the right nutrition, give the body the raw materials so that it can create new cartilage or new disc or new bone. Get the nerves working properly. So it's really important that we affect it from all angles, not just, hey, I'm going to get chiropractic care, which is great. Believe me, if you had to pick one thing, get the chiropractic care, but I want you to get the right nutrition so the body can heal. Then you deal with the pain. Pain gets better because pain's a warning sign. Pain is just telling you that there's something wrong. Pain is not the problem. What's causing the pain is the problem. And once we get a patient under control when it comes to pain, they're able to sleep so the body's able to heal and the brain is able to work more efficiently. So if you have pain, you may be suffering needlessly, and a lot of people are, and you need to get that fixed. All right, a couple other things we need to do to get our brain working properly. You got to use it or lose it. Your brain is like a muscle. You got to challenge your brain to boost connections. It rebuilds new connections between the brain cells, and that helps with the memory. Now, more and more research shows that, just like muscles, they need to be used regularly or else you're not going to remember things. A good example. I was out to lunch the other day with a bunch of friends, and one of the gals there spoke fluent Spanish. She was not Spanish. In fact, she was as white bread as you can be, a very pretty girl. And she spoke fluent Spanish, and we were sitting in a Mexican restaurant, and they had a soccer game on, and it was being broadcast in Spanish. So I said to her, I said, can you understand everything that they're saying? Because they're talking very quickly. She goes, I used to. She says, but I haven't used my Spanish a lot lately, and so now I can just pick up words. He passed the ball, goal, whatever it was. So she knew it very well, but the fact that she wasn't using the Spanish like she did, it's like a muscle, it's starting to get weak. Your brain is the same way, and you need to use the brain on many different levels if you can. And so what's one thing you can do? One thing you can do is listen to the show. Because every time we do a show, we always teach you something new. There's always something that's going to come out that you can walk away and go, wow, that's very interesting. I was a guest on a friend of mine's show the other day, Eric Von Hessler, and we were talking about nutrition and food and health and everything. It's kind of fun. If you never heard the show, it's kind of politics and comedy, and then they have me on as like the nutrition consultant, and we started talking about digestion. And I said, we talked about gas, somehow gas, because when you get 5 guys together, that's what we're going to talk about. And I said, the average person passes gas about 13 times a day. And he says, there you go. See, for how many times I've listened to Dr. Joe speak, I never knew that fun fact. So there's a fun fact for you, which has nothing to do with memory. It's just fun facts. But you're always going to learn something when you listen to my shows. So go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, #1 Dr. Joe in the world, and you'll see hundreds, we may even be up to 1,000 hours now, of radio shows archived on the website. All that's no charge. I give you that at no charge because I want you to have access to this information, because not only is it making you smart, it's also exercising your brain. So I want to exercise your brain, and you're going to learn new facts. So you're going to get a lot done there. Now, it's not only mental benefits that help you when you do these things, but there's also health benefits. Because if your brain is working properly, your body's going to work more efficiently. Because the way the body works is your brain is sending messages down the spine, out the nerves, to every cell in the body. And your brain, the better it works, the better it's able to control your body. As the brain gets weaker, it's not able to control, your pancreas, your spleen, your thyroid, your kidneys. So a healthy brain is also going to mean a healthy body. So listen to the shows. I videotape a lot of my live lectures. If you've never been to my live lectures, they're a lot of fun. So I'm going to invite you to come out to the live lectures. Go to my website at drjoeesposito.com and find out when I'm lecturing. Come out. A lot of them are no charge. Most of them are no charge. Sometimes I give events like next couple of weeks. We have events. I'm doing a men's retreat. Some corporate seminars. I know I got one down in Florida for a corporate seminar. And companies hire me. I can't invite you to those because they're paying me. But if it's a public lecture and I can open it up to the public, I want you to come out. Because I can show you things I can't show you on the radio. Because so much of healthcare is physical, not chemical. This is the missing link in healthcare. We keep trying to treat everything chemically. But the new trend in healthcare is now called functional medicine. Not just treating somebody with a heart disease, treating their heart, but finding out why they had the heart disease. The same nerve that controls the digestive system has control over the heart, called the vagus nerve. There might be a digestive component that's affecting your heart rate or your blood pressure. And so we used to look at healthcare as the heart's one thing and the liver's one thing and the left leg's one thing and the right leg's another thing. Now we're just starting to get it in healthcare that everything's connected. And that's kind of called functional medicine. And you're seeing a big trend in there because a lot of doctors, medical professionals, they're frustrated. The insurance companies now dictate how much care you get. It's not the doctor's decision anymore. The insurance company says it. Now, you can always treat a patient and a patient can pay out of pocket, which I think you should, by the way, because you shouldn't let an insurance company who's never met you, knows nothing about you, and has no vested interest in you getting well, dictate how much treatment you should get. So if it costs you a couple of bucks, it's worth it because it's your life. So when it comes to insurance, people say, well, my insurance only is going to cover blank. Or I wasn't allowed to stay in a hospital because my insurance didn't cover it. If you need to stay in a hospital and it's going to mean your life, stay in a hospital. I had that happen recently to a friend of mine. Her brother died recently because they said, well, you're done. We're not going to keep you here anymore because the insurance isn't going to pay for it. And people automatically assume that if the insurance isn't going to pay for it, I can't get care. That's not true. You can get care, you can pay for it. And many times hospitals will give you even a cash discount if you pay cash. And so get the care that you need, regardless of whether your insurance pays for it or not. This is your health. This is your life. And if he's dead, it doesn't matter how much money he had saved or not saved, he's dead. And if you're in pain and you can't work, guess what? You're losing money. So get the care that you need based on what the doctor's recommendations are, not what the insurance company's recommendations are. So that's why I want you to learn things so you can stay healthy. So go to my website, listen to the videos, listen to the radio, watch the videos, come out to the live lectures, because again, the trend in medicine is doctors are getting frustrated by being told what to do. So a lot of doctors are just going to cash practices. But if you know how to control your own health, you're going to do a lot better. Because you're going to be healthier, you're not going to have to spend that big chunk of money many times on doctor visits. So a couple other things. We're talking today about how to increase your memory and your brain function. New research out is now showing that infections in your digestive system can affect your brain. Now, this is something I've been talking about for 30 plus years now. How the digestive system controls the brain and the brain controls the digestive system. And it's finally, once again, getting recognition. We'll put this in the Dr. Joe is right column because we talked about this for years. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, those are signs you're not digesting your food properly. And so what we need to do is get your body fixed so that you can digest your food, so that you can get the raw materials to send to the brain to produce neurotransmitters to make your brain work. And there's a direct correlation between the nerves going back and forth. Now, there's one type of bacteria. It's called Helicobacter pylori, or H. pylori. And we know H. pylori, you may have heard this word before, because it's linked to ulcers. And we used to think that people with too much stomach acid got ulcers. The acid was eating through their stomachs. Well, a research, I don't remember when it was, several decades ago, a doctor realized that it's not too much stomach acid that allows the ulcers to form. It's too little stomach acid. Because when you have too little stomach acid, the H. pylori can kind of set up shop in your digestive system and start to eat away at the lining of your stomach or your colon and create ulcers. So the treatment was counterintuitive, really. Let's increase the stomach acid to kill off the bacteria so that the wounds can heal. And that's what the new treatment is for H. pylori. Or they give you antibiotics to kill it off, but it's much easier to just raise your stomach acid because the stomach acid is centralized. It's only in your stomach. If you take antibiotics, it's throughout your whole body. And it can kill good bacteria as well as bad bacteria. Now, I am not saying don't take antibiotics. If your doctor says take them, take them. But many patients have found that when we give them digestive enzymes or we give them something like raw organic apple cider vinegar, we give them acid, actually, betaine hydrochloride as an acid, many times the Helicobacter and the ulcers heal. So when it comes to your brain health and memory and your cognitive function, a lot of people don't think about infections. Conversely, when we think about infections like H. pylori, People who are familiar with that bacteria think about ulcers, but they never put the two together. But more and more research is linking this microbe, this H. pylori, to things like poor mental function, dementia, and even Alzheimer's disease. So once again, Dr. Joe was right. You have to have the digestive system working so that the digestive system can affect the brain, so that the brain can then heal the digestive system or get it functioning more normally. And this is where you're seeing the trend in healthcare going toward things like chiropractic, going toward things like nutrition, acupuncture. There's a new law that's coming out in January 2018 that is now saying, it just started. So what that's saying is that hospitals have to use alternative healthcare on pain patients before they go right to the opioids if possible. Things like chiropractic, acupuncture, meditation, because the opioid crisis is out of control, and now it's the documents that we have to do it, which is really kind of cool. So folks, if you have a healthcare problem, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, you'd like to make an appointment to come see us, my doctors, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We would love the opportunity to be your doctors. So if you want to make an appointment, go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, #1 Dr. Joe in the world, and we'll set you up a time to come see us. And if it's something I think we can help on the consultation, we'll tell you. If it's not, we'll tell you that too. And so come in and talk with us and see if there's something we can help. Now, there are 2 rules if you make an appointment. #1, you got to show up, because we're going to reserve time for you, and it's just not cool if you take away somebody else's time. And #2, be ready to make some changes. We may recommend chiropractic care. We may recommend nutritional changes. We may recommend we need to work on your digestive system. Don't come in and say, I'm just, looking around. No, be ready to make some changes. Because if you're ready to get well, we want to be your doctor. So neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive problems, car accidents, sports injuries, make the appointment today. Stop suffering needlessly. So many patients say, I suffered all these years and I wish I hadn't. drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. We'll get you set up as soon as possible. We accept people with all insurances, no insurances, like I said, car accidents, Medicare. We want to be your doctors. We'll make it as easy as we can to be a doctor. Dr. Joe, to be your doctor, drjoeesposito.com. So more things about H. pylori and the infection. It's kind of interesting. You can take antibiotics, but antibiotics are going to work throughout the whole body, not just on your stomach. And so you might kill off the good bacteria in your colon, the good bacteria elsewhere in the body, and maybe long-term open you up to more diseases. There are some natural things that have been shown to work on infections. Things like oregano oil, significant effectiveness against H. pylori. Garlic. Garlic is antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal. So by increasing your garlic intake, that might help. You may have a hiatal hernia. If your stomach is pushed up against your diaphragm, you may have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. We may need to massage or adjust or pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm so that you can digest your food more efficiently. Other things that work pretty well. Enzymes. We talked about the enzymes, increasing your stomach acid. Other supplements, while we're talking about supplements, we want to get the brain functioning. That's our topic today. We got to get good circulation to the brain. So other supplements we might want to consider are things like ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba opens up your blood vessels. Hot peppers, vasodilators, they open up your blood vessels. Beet powder, red beets. I say beet powder and not the beet because if you eat a lot of beets, that's a lot of sugar. I'm okay with eating beets, that's fine. By the way, warning notice, if you eat beets, the next time you go to the bathroom, the toilet may be red because the red beets work their way through your colon. So if it's red, don't get nervous that you're bleeding from your rectum. It could be that you just ate some red beets. So think about that if you see that. Red beets have something in it called nitrates, and nitrates convert into nitric oxide, which opens up your blood vessels. Arugula, which is like a salad, a lettuce type thing, is 10 times higher in nitrates than red beets. So how about a beet salad with arugula? Holy cow. Now that's going to help the brain. Some of you have to have an increase in brain function. Maybe you have a test coming up. You have a job interview. You're going out on a hot date. You want to increase your circulation. That would be a nice little thing to make for your date. How about arugula and beet salad? Not only for the brain, it also increases circulation to the other parts of the body. We'll keep it clean here. It's a family show. And good circulation to other parts of the body is vital for certain things. So these are other supplements you can take. And, of course, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. If you've never taken them, you need to. They're 2 powders. I have them on my website, drjoeesposito.com, also on Amazon if you have an Amazon account. And what they do is it's the minimum amount of nutrients, what we call the core nutrients, or it's a core supplement to get your day going and get your body working properly. So most of us don't eat a good diet. I eat a really good diet, and I still take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source because it's just that good. And you can get those on my website. Relatively inexpensive. Take a scoop of each. I mix it with coconut milk or almond milk, shake it up in a jar and drink it. Stuff's amazing. And then if you want to add some beet powder to that, woohoo! You got supercharged there. You could add some turmeric if you like turmeric. You could add some of that to it. Turmeric has a really strong flavor, so if you're okay with something that doesn't taste delicious, you can try adding some turmeric to it if you want to as well. That's pretty neat. Some people add a vegetarian protein powder to it, and that makes it a meal, as a meal replacement. So it's pretty cool stuff, and that's Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, drjoeesposito.com, or on Amazon too. All my supplements, my books, they're all on my website. A lot of good information. And archived hundreds of thousands, I guess almost 1,000 hours of radio shows now in videos, all no charge. It's my gift to you. So take the road less traveled, and that's going to help build new brain connections as well. So what does that mean? Most of us do the same thing all day, every day. We're creatures of habits. We usually drive the same way to work. We eat about the same 10 or 15 or 20 foods. If you wrote down everything you ate in a year, you'd see a pattern develop. We watch the same television shows. We use the same household products. We shop at the same stores. Some of you go to the same coffee shop every day. But the simple act of trying new things or taking a different route from home helps strengthen connections between your brain, which then helps strengthen connections to your body. So something as simple as brushing your teeth with the opposite hand. I use an electric toothbrush. You can do that. A good exercise for brain, if you can do it and safely, is shower with your eyes closed. Now, that's dangerous. It can be slippery, but if you can do it and have good balance, you're developing new coordination pathways in your brain because you have to kind of figure out where you are. So that's kind of a neat little trick as well. But anything you can do. Hiking. If you go hiking and you can, try to hike over an uneven surface, like a path. Because the more uneven it is, the more neurological input you have to send to your feet and back up to your brain to keep you balanced. And the more neurological input your brain gets, the better it's going to be. Your brain needs stimulation, oxygen, and nutrition. So that's a good way to stimulate the brain, is hiking on an uneven path. Cook new foods. If you don't know what to make, get my first book. It's called Eating Right for the Health of It. First half of the book tells you how to change your diet, and then there's hundreds of hours of archived radio, recipes on there. And then you can go to the website for the archive radio shows. But if you don't know what to make, recipes are in Eating Right for the Health of It, and that's on my website as well. Go to art galleries. Go to different places. If you have a significant other in your life, look up things to do in your town and do different things. Maybe go to an art gallery. Go to a hike. Go to a cooking class. Try something different. And if you're single, that's great too, because you get to meet new people. And if you're an introvert, that's great too, because you get to meet new people. So you want to try different things. Some of them you like, some of them you won't. It's okay. And while you're hiking, here's an idea. Go to my website and listen to my podcasts. Listen to the radio shows while you're hiking. So now you're getting auditory input. You're getting neurological input from hiking. You're outside. You're getting fresh air. And when you walk, make sure you walk right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Swinging right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Think about it. Not many of you, but some of you are swinging right arm, left leg. That's not good. Your brain needs integration. It needs input from both sides of your body all the time. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're only stimulating one side of the brain more than the other. Remember, right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. Left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. By integrating your brain, you're going to find that your body works much more efficiently. And you're going to have better balance. This is something I teach my senior patients as well, because falling is a big issue for seniors. And I try to build up their coordination by marching right arm, left arm, right leg. So ladies, if you carry a purse, gentlemen, you have your cell phone, don't use them. While you're walking, swing your arms, put your purse around your shoulder, and swing your arms, right arm, left arm, right leg, to build up new neurological pathways for the brain to work more efficiently. Now, folks, if you want to make an appointment to come see us, and I think you should, by the way, all of you out there have some type of health problem. I know that, because I've never met a patient who doesn't have some type of health problem, or a person. Go to my website to make an appointment, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, #1 Dr. Joe in the world, and we'll set you up a time. And we accept all insurances. We accept people with all insurances. We accept people without insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. We want to be your doctors. We want to get your nervous system working, your digestive system working, and good nutrition. So if you're serious, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're ready to take some steps to get well, go right now, make an appointment. You can do it online or call us, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. Hey, don't go anywhere. Tell your friends about the show. We're going to be right back. Hey, folks, thanks for being here. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. And we're giving you some good information like we always do, because our job is to help you get well and stay well. So what we're talking about today is how to get the brain and the memory working more efficiently. And the way we do this is by building up new pathways, new connections in the brain. And we used to think that your brain was your brain, and once the brain was set, it was done. It's not true. We were wrong. 30 years ago, the research wasn't as advanced as it is now, and we're learning now that we can actually rebuild brain connections. And sometimes you remembered something, and then you start to forget it, and then once you start exercising your brain again, it comes back. Learning a language is a good way to look at it. I used to speak German when I was younger because I took German classes. My grandparents were German, and I only remember the curse words because I haven't used it in years. But if I started learning it again, those sleeping cells, if you will become activated, and chances are I'll learn it again. So you got to keep learning new things to build new pathways, just like you got to stay in motion to keep your muscles strong. You have to learn new things constantly to keep the brain working. And we know this, the research is there, it's clear as day, and we can actually see on functional MRIs, which is like a real-time MRI, how the brain is working. And how we start putting new things in it, it starts to regenerate itself, which is really kind of cool. Stress. Stress can beat the heck out of your brain. Now, there's three types of stresses. There's chemical, there's physical, and there's emotional. Now, chemical stress is food, drugs, alcohol, environmental toxins. These are things that many times you have control over, but sometimes you don't. So you have control over the food you eat. I always recommend you stay away from the 7 deadly sins: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener. And under sugar, we have breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, and pastas. So you want to stay away from them. You want to eat more fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Supplement. I take handful of supplements, 2 handfuls of supplements a day, actually. But my main supplement is Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. If you're not taking them, folks, you really need to be. It's concentrated fruits and vegetables in a powder form. It's prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, a complete multivitamin. It alkalizes your system. It gets iodine into your system. Most of us are deficient in iodine. So I would say absolutely positively take that. In the winter months, I'd recommend you take vitamin D. I recommend about 5,000 international units, or 5,000 IUs. You can get that in one simple capsule. It's no big deal. I take that every day in the winter. And I also take omega-3 fatty acids. Now, there's 3 types. There's fish oil, which I don't recommend. But if you do fish oil, make sure that it's mercury-free, certified mercury-free. There's krill oil, which is a good oil. It's in a phospholipid form, so that's good. Little more expensive and a better choice than fish. And then the best choice is algae oil. I take the algae oil because I don't eat animal products. And the algae oil is the most expensive. But this is the thing. When you start eating right, when you start getting your spine taken care of, when you get your digestive system working and you're healthy, you are going to have so much money left over at the end of the week and the month, you're not going to know what to do with it all. I promise you. If you don't believe me, go to a restaurant. Next time you're in a restaurant, cover up the food and look at the prices. The cheapest thing on the menu inevitably is going to be the healthiest thing on the menu. It's just that simple. I was at a steakhouse the other day with some friends, and they had steak and they had salmon, and I said, can I just have a vegetable plate? No butter, just olive oil. And they brought me this big plate. It had mushrooms on it, and was it beans, and what was the third thing? I can't remember now. But it was delicious. It was asparagus. Spectacular. And the cost of my meal was a fraction, well, maybe half, of everybody else's meal. I felt great. They felt great. They enjoyed their meal. I enjoyed my meal. At the end of the day, I didn't have the toxic chemicals from the meat and the steroids and the hormones and the pesticides and the herbicides and genetically modified foods. And they did. So we both were satisfied. All of us were satisfied. We had wonderful meals. Mine was cheaper, and I felt better and was healthier. So why wouldn't you take the better path? because sometimes you just don't think about it. Soups, especially in the winter, oh my gosh, soups are incredibly cheap. You get a crock pot, get a bag of split peas. Try to do organic, of course, because of pesticides they spray on it. Split peas, a pound of carrots, an onion or two, and maybe half a head of celery. They come in heads? I don't know. What is it? A stalk is one piece. A rib is one piece. A stalk is the whole thing. Half of whatever that thing of celery is. And then I'll put in some vegetable bouillon cubes. I can make, I don't know how many servings of soup for maybe $8. Eat on it all week. Give it to my friends. Freeze it if you need to. So inexpensive. So when you start looking at the food of the paupers is really the best food. If you ever studied the Bible, there was, when Daniel was fighting, him and his men didn't want to eat the food of the kings. They wanted to eat the food of the poor people, and they were the strongest warriors. And some churches actually do something called a Daniel fast, that early in the year, they'll do a Daniel fast, and you'll eat good foods for a couple of weeks. And inevitably, people will say, oh my gosh, I feel so good when I do the Daniel fast. I'm so excited. Because it's a time of the year for the Daniel fast. And when I do it, I lose weight, and I feel great, and I sleep better, and my love life improves, and my brain works better. And then I ask them the simple question, why don't you just live like that all the time? And they always look at me. I don't know, they say. Because if you did it all the time, you'd be healthy all the time. Why would you want to only be healthy for a short period of the year? Because they do it as a thing. It's usually a church thing, and they do it for a while, and then they break the fast. And they're back to eating bad again. And I said, if you eat it all the time, you'll save money and feel good and have energy and live longer. And they're like, wow, what a great idea. Like it's some novel idea I came up with. But eating the right food is going to be very helpful. So that's the chemical stresses. We talked about the stresses we're talking about now. Physical stress is what we treat as chiropractors. Back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, sprained ankles, fibromyalgia, muscle spasms, headaches. So many times when you're in pain, you can't sleep, which we talked about earlier. And also your brain, it short circuits. So by getting our patients out of pain, not only are we helping their pain, we're helping their brain. It kind of rhymes, pain and brain. Look at that. And then there's digestive stress. If you have acid reflux or heartburn or burping or gas, many times the stomach is pushed up against the diaphragm. And we need to gently pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm so that it's an adjustment, a physical move to get the stomach to work more efficiently. That will help with the emotional stress. Because if we can help get rid of your chemical stress, your physical stress, and your digestive stress, the emotional stress, many times we can't change that. I can't change the fact maybe a loved one passed away, or you ended a relationship, or you lost your job. But if the other things are working more efficiently, it's a lot easier for you to handle the emotional stress. And then the emotional stress kind of goes away, usually faster, because you're able to deal with it more efficiently. So stress has a direct negative effect on your brain. They also stress causes stress on something called your adrenal glands. Now, the adrenal glands are triangular-shaped glands. They sit on top of your kidneys, and they release a bunch of really powerful hormones. The hormones reduce the capability of the brain to utilize glucose as energy. Sugar, glucose is a type of sugar. When stress becomes chronic, ongoing release of these hormones actually starves your brain of its fuel and lessens your brain energy. So if you're constantly pumping out adrenaline or cortisol, your brain is not going to work as efficiently as it should. And so if we can relieve the emotional stress and the physical stress, the adrenal glands slow down, which slow down the hormone production like cortisol, which then helps the brain work more efficiently. And one of the immediate symptoms is memory loss or just impaired memory, and that could be a hormone coming from the adrenals. And one sign that your adrenal glands are just pooped out is, of course, you're tired all the time, but bags under your eyes. If you have bags under your eyes, that's a sign many times of adrenal insufficiency. So what we do is we try to get our patients eating the right foods. We get them on adrenal supplements. If you're a vegetarian, there's certain supplements. If you're not a vegetarian, there's other ones I'd recommend. And kind of give the adrenal glands the raw materials that they need to heal. So stress can be a real killer. And it can affect the brain as well. You got to get the bacteria in your colon working properly. The bacteria, the colon in your brain, the colon and the bacteria are called the second brain, and a healthy balance of what's called flora, which is the bacteria in your gut, can determine whether you're having a great memory and strong resistance to brain disease. So many times when patients come in and they have memory issues, or they start to develop Alzheimer's or Parkinson's even, the gut is playing a significant role in their brain health. If we can restore the good bacteria and get some healthy yeast into your intestines, that can go a long way to protecting your mental health. There's also there's good yeasts and there's bad yeasts. And one of the yeasts that's in your colon it breaks down sugar, so it's necessary. And that yeast competes with the bacteria. And if you do something like a lot of antibiotics, for example, whether eating it from meats and dairy products, commercial meats and dairy products, which are given a lot of antibiotics, or if you just take a round of antibiotics, you can kill off the good bacteria, and then the yeasts don't have competition, so the yeasts start to multiply. It's called candida. And as the yeasts start to multiply, they can burrow holes into your small intestine and get into your blood system. And now we have what's called a systemic yeast infection. And when you have a systemic yeast infection, one of the side effects is bad brain fog. So the way you can test to see if you have a yeast infection, real simple test, and it's not definitive, but it's a good start, is tonight when you go to sleep, put a clear glass of water next to your bed. When you wake up tomorrow morning, get all the spit out of your mouth, kind of scrape your tongue a little bit with your teeth, and spit into the glass. Now, it can take up to an hour, but if you start to see looks like a jellyfish, like the tentacles of a jellyfish coming down from the spit, that could be a sign that you have a systemic yeast infection. And if you do, you need to call my office and we need to get you on a really serious protocol. It is not easy to get rid of systemic yeast infections. But if you don't, it can lead to a lot of other health problems. And one of the things we want to do is build up the good bacteria in your colon. So taking a probiotic supplement can help. Now, probiotics are good bacteria. Prebiotics, you may have heard that word, feed the good bacteria. So it's not something that you can use, but it's going to feed the bacteria, which then you need the good bacteria. So in my Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, especially the Essential Source, we add prebiotics and probiotics, good bacteria. And when we do that, it's helping to recolonate your colon. So it's another benefit to taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. If you've never taken them, I think you should. I tell everybody, try it for at least a month. A lot of people order it right away because they know how good it is and they put themselves on automatic reorder. But try it for a month. Religiously. Don't cheat. You have to take it every day. And see what happens. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I blew it. You spent a couple of bucks, you took some product, you got a little bit of benefit. But if I'm right, which I am, you'll say, wow, I should be taking this every day. Everyone in my family should be taking it every day. For the minimal cost, it's well worth the benefits. And so those are on my website, drjoeesposito.com. Also available on Amazon. If you have an Amazon account, you can order it there too. Fermented food, things like kimchi or homemade sauerkraut. These are good foods because they are good bacteria and they feed the good bacteria that you have in your colon. Now, don't get them if they've been pasteurized. If you go to the store and buy a can of sauerkraut, it's been pasteurized. It kills off the bacteria. You want to make it fresh or get it from a fresh source. So when you pasteurize it, unfortunately, it kills off a lot of the benefits from it. Meditation is great for the brain. Now, I remember years ago when I was in college, I started studying transcendental meditation with my friend Frank. And he was a siddha. He was very high up in transcendental meditation, and he was a teacher. And my mother thought it was the end of the world. We are going to sell our belongings and face east and join the Beatles and travel in a Volkswagen van. And that's what meditation was at the time. It was for hippies and freaks. Now, it's being taught in chiropractic school, in medical school. And in fact, we talked earlier about this, there's a new rule starting January 2018, that says hospitals have to offer alternative health care before they give people opioids, because they can lose their license if they don't. And one of the things they recommend is chiropractic, massage, and meditation, and acupuncture as options for patients with pain. So finally, these weirdo, quacks are finally getting the recognition they deserve, myself included, that people should be doing these alternatives first when it comes to pain management. And I always say chiropractic first, drugs second, and surgery last, if it's possible. Now, if I hurt my back really bad, I'm going to take some medication to get me out of pain. But then I'm going to find out why I have the pain. I want to get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. That's the key. When it comes to your health care, I want you to think that. How can I get to the cause of my problem and not just treat the symptoms? Treating the symptoms is okay, But ultimately, you want to get to the cause. Why am I overweight? Well, I can get my stomach stapled. Works for some people. But that's not treating the cause. The cause is I'm putting too much junk in my body. And so if you get the stomach stapled, you need to change your diet. In fact, I was talking to a medical doctor at a conference the other day, and he does this. He does surgical surgeries on stomachs, and he says, I'd like for you to start consulting my patients on nutrition. He says, because I know nothing about nutrition. And the problem is he does the surgery, it's successful, they go back to eating bad foods, and they start gaining weight. And they say, well, doc, I paid all this money for the surgery, it didn't work. He says, no, the surgery worked fine, you didn't do the follow-up. And so hopefully we'll be working together with his patients, and I can do nutritional consults with them. I used to be very overweight. I used to be fat. I can say the F word on the radio. I have stretch marks on my chest, the back of my legs, so I totally get the problems we have with eating. And I want to teach you how when you give your body enough nutrition, it helps reset the hypothalamus, which is your hunger center in your brain. So folks, if you have a healthcare problem, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, and you'd like to become a patient of ours, we would love the opportunity to be your doctors. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. So if you want to go to my website, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, we'll set you up a time to come see us. We take people with all insurances, no insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. We don't discriminate. We want to get you well and keep you well, and we'll work with you to try to get you the care that you need. So if you're serious about wanting to get well, go to the website right now, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe, and we'll set you up a time. If you make an appointment, please show up, because we're going to reserve time for you, and it's not cool if you take somebody else's time. And also be ready to make some changes. If you're dead set against doing any changes in your life, don't make an appointment. Please don't waste my time. Please don't waste your time. And most importantly, don't take that time away from another potential patient, because these people need care. And we want you to be one of them, but if you're not ready, that's okay. But if you're ready, drjoeesposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe. We'll set you up an appointment as quick as possible. We'll get you in, and bring your friends, bring your family, and bring your children. Because children need chiropractic care as well so that they can grow up straight. If they're crooked, their spine grows crooked. So if you're on the fence, if you've been listening to me for years, or you always thought about what can I do about my pain, now is the time, or my healthcare problems, now is the time to make the move. drjoeesposito.com. Do it online. Call us. We'll get you set up as soon as possible. So we're talking today about getting the brain working more efficiently. And there's a lot of things we can do. And one of the things you can do is walk. Exercise is going to be a key. Now, when I say walk, you're thinking, well, Dr. Joe, I can't walk a lot. Maybe I'm on a walker, I'm in a wheelchair, or I have back pain and I can't exercise. Do what you can. If it means getting out of your bed and walking to the bathroom and back, do it. If it means going for a 10-mile hike, do it. Get your body in motion, because when the body's in motion, that's when the brain works. I've had people ask me many times about the radio show. I said, how do you do the show? You seem to talk for an hour without taking a breath. One of the secrets is I stand up when I do it, because it keeps my brain in motion. I've tried sitting down. It doesn't work. So if I'm standing, I'm constantly in motion. I'm rocking back and forth. I'm moving my arms and legs. I'm able to get my brain working more efficiently. So you may not be a speed walker, but advice from British researchers are offering another study showing the potential of the ability of exercise to stave off dementia. Now, you don't need expensive equipment. It's designer gear. Walking is going to be the key. All you have to do is motivate yourself every day. So here's some tricks you can do to help the brain and your body. Is park far away and walk. If you have time and you have a lunch break or a break at work, instead of sitting at the computer or looking at on your phone, go outside, walk around a building a few times. My office, one of my offices, we're right next to a beautiful park. We're right next to a big university called Life University, and they've got a running track and a field. Many times, I always have a pair of sneakers in my car. I'll put the sneakers on, just go for a walk. Bring your phone if you want to. Listen to some music if you want to. Listen to my podcast. It's even better because it'll get your brain working. And go for a 10-minute walk. And I tell my staff, listen, if it's a rough day and it's a little overwhelming, say, hey, listen, I got to take a break. Go down to the walking track, walk around a little bit. They got a rugby field down there. Walk through the woods, come back again. Now, why is that a good thing? Because my staff then reboots their brain, and they're able to function better, which means I have better employees. And I always tell you, my patients, we want to give you the best customer service possible, but we don't know what you want unless you tell us. Sometimes a patient will get upset because they didn't get everything they wanted. I said, well, you didn't tell us you wanted that. Well, I want to lose weight. Well, you didn't tell me you want to lose weight. I need to talk about a weight loss program that we have. We have a wonderful weight loss program. Oh, I guess I didn't tell you, did I? So get out and walk, and that's going to help the brain work more efficiently. And we did talk about cross-crawling, right? You want to walk right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Because the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain need to be integrated. They need input equally. And unfortunately, most of us are one-sided. I'm right-handed, so I write with my right hand. I brush my teeth with my right hand. I use my mouse with the right hand. And so I need to start using the left side of my body more. And I do that every chance I can. So get out and walk, right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Walk around the house if you have to. If you can't get out, get yourself a little trampoline, those little mini trampolines. Great for bouncing on, and that helps build up neurological input to the brain as well. Now, we've talked a lot about how foods, the foods you should never eat and the foods you should eat to get the brain working the best. So you want to stay away from what we call the 7 deadly sins: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. You want to eat more fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. You want to try to eat something raw at every meal. Now, when I say raw, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, salad, because raw food has something in it called enzymes. And enzymes help break down food. They reassemble food. They help you heal. The reason kids heal so quickly and us old folks don't is because of enzymes. That's one of the things. And you can't make more enzymes as you get older, but you can get them from an external source, which is raw food. Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, loaded with enzymes. Another reason you need to be taking Super Greens and Essential Source every day. I'll take it twice a day if I'm going on a date, if I'm going on a busy schedule, hiking, if I have a couple of lectures back to back, a lot of patients at the office. So Super Greens is great. I have them here at the office. I have it just sitting in our break room telling the staff, anytime you want them, please take a dose. Because they're amazing. I can't say enough about them. I want to talk a little bit about digestion as we start to wrap up here. Your stomach's job is to take proteins and break them into amino acids. Now, the amino acid tryptophan becomes serotonin in your brain. Serotonin helps you focus, helps you calm down. Tyrosine becomes dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that gives you pleasure. So a lot of times when people's brains aren't working, or we have times in our lives where we're just not getting a lot of pleasure in life, it could be because you're not digesting your food. Glutamine becomes GABA. GABA suppresses other neurotransmitters. So when it comes to pain management, one of the things I check on all my patients, or all our patients, is their digestion. Because if you're not producing enough glutamate, you're not producing GABA, and GABA suppresses pain. So we got to get the brain working to get the body working. And as chiropractors, that's our job, is get everything working together. So if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, these are signs that your digestive system isn't working properly. And we need to get it working properly. And we can do that many times by actually adjusting, pulling the stomach down away from the diaphragm. Now, there's also a valve between your small and large intestine called your ileocecal valve. And if that valve is stuck open, you have diarrhea, and if it's stuck closed, you have constipation. So sometimes with our patients, we need to adjust the spine because the nerves in the low back control the colon, sex organs, and bladder. So if you have back pain, it can be affecting your colon, sex organs, and bladder. Low back pain also affects your legs and your knees, your feet, your ankles. So by doing chiropractic adjustments to open up the nerve supply works. Sometimes we actually have to adjust the ileocecal valve. And when we do these things, and we get you on good nutrition, we get you on Super Greens, Essential Source, and we do a nutritional evaluation on all our patients, and we customize a plan for everyone. And we can do that over the phone, by the way. I know this show is heard coast to coast. If you want to do a consultation over the phone or on the internet, we can do that as well for you if you can't get to see us in our offices. Because we want to be your doctors, and we want to give you every opportunity you can. And a lot of doctors don't understand nutrition. So, well, you have chiropractors, orthopedists, neurologists, neurosurgeons, psychiatrists send us their patients and say, help us out, doc. We need the whole plan put together for us. And then we do. So if you want to do that, all this information, if you want to order supplements, my books, archived videos, archived audios, no charge for the videos and audios. If you want to watch them or listen, drjoeesposito.com. Or just Google Dr. Joe, #1 Dr. Joe in the world. Spend a little time on the website. Read the articles that I've written. Really good source of information. Sign up for our newsletter. It's free. Give me your email address. It's right on the front of the website, and we'll send you a link to a lecture I did called So What Can I Eat? And that's no charge also. It's my gifts to you. I like giving gifts. People like things for free. So the website is there 24 hours a day with more information. If you need to contact us, drjoeesposito.com, again, or Google Dr. Joe. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We would love to be your doctors. So go to the website right now, Stop waiting. Stop procrastinating. Stop suffering. drjoeesposito.com or Google Dr. Joe. We'll set you up a time to come in. We accept people with all insurances, no insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. I have never seen a car accident if the car was damaged where the occupants weren't. Ever. And you're not any different, I promise you. You're not going to outmuscle another car. So stop suffering. Start getting well. drjoeesposito.com or just Google Dr. Joe. Hey, folks, once again, thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate this. Thanks for telling your friends about the show. We'll catch you next time. The show, 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 we'll catch you next time.